Just remember, you don't you don't live. Was it? You don't live your fears. You ride them. For those of you who fear Last Jedi, I'm on video 5 at the moment, and my voice is not as bad as I would expect, but it is starting to get there a little bit. I'm gonna end it on my last what if for the day, and that will get me caught up in the last 2 3 days. But I saw Twisters last night with my girlfriend, starring Glenn Powell, what's her name? Daisy Edgar Jones, Anthony Ramos, and an eclectic cast of other characters who I recognize some and did recognize others. It is, by all accounts, a sequel to the original movie. That being said, there's not much to say about it in terms of how it connects to the original. It really doesn't, but it's allegedly a sequel. Following Daisy's character, who's Kate. Kate's her name. We meet her and her group, who include Anthony Ramos. They unfortunately have an accident with a tornado, and she's now traumatized by it. But gets back. They just pull her back in. It's like tornado mafia. And along the way, they meet Tyler Owen, who's a YouTube star tornado chaser, and they run into some tornadoes. And that's pretty much it. Like you also see in the trailer talk about this, like just destroying a tornado. Yeah, right. No, they don't dissipating a tornado, whatever you want to call it. Taming, I think that's the term they use. So, with that said, what did I think of the movie? I think of the movie what I think a lot of people thought of the movie. It's a perfectly good summer movie. Like, this is not going to be winning any awards, not even best visual effects. The visual effects were good, but not, I mean, they were good. I believe their tornadoes were there. I believe that, so maybe. But it's not going to be getting any awards for visual effects, probably not. It's not going to get any best acting awards, best screenplay awards. The characters are, I won't go so far as to say cookie cutter, but they are generic. Like, oh no, she's the traumatized victim, but she's also the skilled, tornado whisperer. He's the wild cowboy, but with a heart of gold. Like, you were the best friend who wanted to get with her, but lost his shot. Like, these aren't the most in-depth characters in the world. They're not. But are they serviceable? And do they get the job done? And are you invested and care about them? Yes. Yes, you do. I cared about Kate. I liked Kate, honestly. Like, my girlfriend overall liked the character too. She liked the movie fine. Yeah, no, I think they handled her trauma, I actually think, very well, because it was a part of her story, but it wasn't like the crux of it. She has a moment where she freezes up at the first time coming back, but then she's able to get over it and get back into the fray pretty quick. She has a moment where she finally breaks down, but it's ultimately not. It's ultimately pretty realistic. They don't like she's not having a lot of flashbacks. She's not like waking up in a cold sweat or anything like that a lot. I think the way they handle their trauma really works, and I like her chemistry with Glenn Powell. These two are very charming together, and Glenn Powell. You know how people say Kevin Hart just plays Kevin Hart or Nick Cage just plays Nick Cage? Right now, Glenn Powell is kind of just playing Glenn Powell a little bit, but damn if he doesn't have some charm to him. He's definitely douchey and a little broy, but then as the movie goes on, you're like, oh, no, this guy's not an idiot. In fact, he's actually very charming, and he's very sympathetic and actually got a lot of compassion to him. You like the little rivalry between him and Kate at first. It's actually a lot of fun. And I like Anthony Ramos. I want to see Anthony Ramos in more things. I first really came aware of him from In the Heights, which I loved In the Heights. And then I saw him obviously in the most recent Transformers movie. I actually liked him in that. I liked him in that too. I haven't seen him in everything he's done, but I like what I've seen from him. And I like what they did with his character. He's one of the survivors. But he's also kind of had to adapt to the trauma of what's happened. And I like where that goes. Plus, you get all these other fun characters that, have their own little quirks with them. The effects on the tornadoes, like I said, are really good. There are points where my girlfriend jumped out of the seat a little bit, like, oh god, like it is tense at points, like oh shit, it's oh shit moments. There are. I've heard like 4DX is like an immersive kind of movie theater, and like this is one of those movies you'd want to see in 4DX if you got one. But yeah, there's like at least. There's like at least 4 or 5, 6, 7 tornado sequences in this. Like there's the main one in the beginning of the film. There's the first tornado they chase after the fact, and then there's a second tornado after that. There's a tornado scene involving a motel and a pool. Then there's a tornado scene after that. And then there's like the main final tornado sequence where you get the fire tornado coming in and all that. So there's at least 6 or 7 tornado sequences. I might be forgetting one. And they're all great. Like I said, I don't think she's going to get nominated for visual effects, but the tornadoes looked good. There's like, and what CGI, I mean, a lot of it's CGI. It's a $200 million budget. So I have to assume a lot of that went towards CGI, because while Glenn Powell is an up-and-coming star, and Anthony Ramos would also be an up-and-coming star, they don't like demand a $10 million paycheck. They don't carry that with on their on their contracts, like 10 million or nothing. They don't do that. So yeah, I really had a good time with the film. Is it cliched? Absolutely. Are there things that don't work in the movie? That's a good question. Are there things that don't work in the movie? There are points where characters are just making very bad decisions. Like they're getting out of their cars while the tornado's like right there. And they're so confident because they know tornadoes moving along. It's like, you do know how sporadic tornadoes can actually be. They could start moving that way and then start moving that way instead. Like, stay in your car. Beyond that, though, there are points where characters will either just kind of stand and watch and be like, move, or just make some questionable decisions. I guess we'll say that. Questionable decisions. So yeah, there are jokes in the movie too that work very well. There are other jokes that didn't land quite as well. Like there's this hipster, I wouldn't even call him hipster. There's this Gen Z, like, nine times out of 10, this is these things. There's never a tornado. It's like, dude, like they're at a motel. It's like, dude, you don't want me to give you a bad rating, do you? There's no tornado. It's like, oh my god, there's a tornado. Like, oh god, shut up, just shut up. And I like the ending too. You kind of can tell where it would end, but it's still a good way to end it. And it ends in a way where you're kind of glad they didn't do one thing over another. So I don't have much else to say. This isn't like a very like in-depth movie. It's tornadoes and the stuff that goes on with the tornadoes. So, and you got the fire tornado there. So, yeah, overall, I had a good time with this film. It was a fun summer movie. I don't think I'd watch it again in the theaters. If it was like, say, on demand or on streaming, I'd maybe watch it again with friends. But I don't see myself going out of my way to watch it. Regardless, that's my thoughts. I don't really have much else to say. We had a weird bunch of trailers. We had Alien Romulus again. We had what was it? Speak No Evil, Flight Risk. I've seen that trailer with Mark Wahlberg and Topher Grace Wahlberg, and I don't know who the actress's name is. Where they're transporting Topher Grace, who's an informant, and it turns out the pilot is a hitman played by Mark Wahlberg, and that looks like a lot of fun, honestly. Reagan, Dennis Quaid playing Ronald Reagan. My Ronald Reagan. Reagan smash. Gorbachev heard down this. Like, look, I don't know if I'll say I like Dennis Quaid as an actor. Take his political views out of the equation. I like him as an actor. But I don't know. That depends if I'm able to see anything else at any given time. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that we got the trailer for. No Deadpool or Wolverine trailer, although the final trailer just dropped today. I'm like, damn it, that's a good trailer. Damn it, 6 days. 6 freaking days, let's go. Let's fucking go. By the way, you'll notice I put the mutton chops back on a while back. Deadpool Wolverine's coming out. I had to put the mutton chops back on. Let's fucking go. So good. But I know we had more trailers than that. I'm just trying to remember what they were. I still haven't remembered to write these things down. Can I remember any of them? Anything coming out in August that I forgot? You know what? Give me 1 second. I feel like I am forgetting at least 2 movies. So let's see. There's the upcoming movies coming out. What's coming out for August and July right now? Twisters, Deadpool, Wolverine, Trap. That's right. We had the trailer for Trap. I knew I was forgetting one. So yeah, it's Trap's another one. I'm looking forward to that. I'm curious of what the twist will be, but based on the newest trailer, it doesn't look like what we all thought. Thought that he was the killer was the twist, but who knows? They might still pull that. And we got a trailer for It Ends With Us, which I believe is based off a book. I really don't know what to think about that movie, to be honest. Like, I'm guessing she's in an abusive relationship, and then the new lover comes, and the current lover is an abusive asshole or something like that. I really don't know what to think of that movie, if I'm going to be honest. I really don't. Other than that, though, I don't believe we got any other trailers or anything coming out, like, near to the end part of the year. So anyway, that's my thoughts. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.